Matthew Seriki, and today we'll be trailing to you with a lot of newspaper review in terms of politics and what is happening generally in the world. All right, we're having Vanguard to look at today, the Blueprint, the Tribune, the Guardian, the New Telegraph, and also lastly the Punch. All right, looking at the first newspaper we have for you today, which is the Vanguard. Let's see what the Vanguard has for us this morning. On the front page of the Vanguard this morning, we have Middle East war, no distress call yet from Nigeria in Iran. Middle East war, no distress call yet from Nigerian in Iran. That is coming in on the front page of the Guardian, where we have both the federal government and the Nigerian Industrial Commission, which is the NIDCOM, confirmed that as of now, no Nigerian in Iran has sent a formal distress call for help, despite the ongoing U.S.-Iran hostility. All right, this is coming in as news on the front page of the Vanguard this morning, that there's no distress call yet from the Nigerian living in Iran for evacuation and proper evacuation down to Nigeria. All right, then the NIDCOM's spokesman stressed that while there may be Nigerian living in Iran, none have reached out for consular assistance of evacuation support yet. All right, then NIDCOM, which is NIDCOM, clarifies this position, reiterating there are currently no official emergency request from Nigerian in Iran. I mean, this is coming in as the front newspaper this morning, reaching us that yet they have not made any proper evacuation way for them to be evacuated to Nigeria, which is the Nigerian living in Iran, due to the war that's happened between due to the conflict going on in Iran, where US and the Israelis have to launch a missile attack on Iran. All right, and we also have looking at the weather context of this Middle East war, with no distress call yet from Nigeria in Iran. All right, this international tension stems from escalating military action in the Middle East, particularly between the United States, Israel, and Iran, which has prompted global concern and advisory from many governments in response. The Nigerian government has issued advisory urging Nigeria and Iran and nearby Gulf states to stay vigilant, limit no essential travel, and remain in touch with Nigerian embassies. I mean, this is a call from the Nigerian government that has issued advisory urging Nigeria and Iran and nearby Gulf states to stay vigilant. I mean, this is time to be vigilant wherever you are. Stay put before any escalation. If there's any information that needs to be passed by, if there's information of evacuation, I think the government should be informed properly so that the citizens over there in Iran can be evacuated. All right. If circumstances change, including distress call or request for assistance from Nigerian national abroad, official agencies like NIDCOM, which is iDEA, COM, and Nigerian diplomatic missions are monitoring the situation and will respond accordingly, which is we are hearing the information that the NIDCOM are on standby to know if there's any information of evacuation, and any diplomatic mission are monitoring the situation on ground to know if there is any updates of evacuation from Nigerians living in Iran. All right, that is coming in on the front page of the Vanguard this morning. Then on the up page, where we have on page 14 on the Vanguard this morning, we have Benin attack. That is the caption. How DSS nab suspect over threats to petrol. Obi. Benin attack. That's the caption. How DSS nabbed suspect over threats to Peter Obi. All right. Then that is coming on page 14 of the Vanguard. Then looking at page 9, still on the Vanguard, alleged secret bank accounts. That's the caption. Alleged secret bank account. CCB summon FHC. CJ Justice Tisho. That is coming in on the front page of the Vanguard this morning. Then looking at page 8, still on the Vanguard, government backs Tinubu on direct oil revenue and remittance to Federation account. Government backed Tinubu on direct oil revenue remittance to Federation account. That is coming in on page 9 of the Vanguard this morning. Then looking at still on the front page, where we have on page 16 on the Vanguard, where we have Dangote refinery increased petrol price to 874 per litre. That is coming on page 16. Dangote refinery increased petrol price to 874 per litre. Then we have on page 9 also phone tapping equipment claim eviction El Rufai family fights back at ICPC. Phone tapping equipment claims eviction. El-Rufai family files back at ICPC. That is still coming on the front page of page 9 of the Vanguard. Then on page 10, where we have, I will be Nigerian first elected female governor, coming in from Iyabo Obasanjo. I will be Nigerian first elected female governor, coming in from Iyabo Obasanjo. All right, that is a quick look at the front page of on the Vanguard this morning. Then on the up page, where we have on page 19 of the Vanguard, where we have federal governments begin implementation of executive order on oil gas revenue. Federal government begins implementation of executive order on oil gas revenue. All right, a quick look at the blueprints. Let's see what the blueprints has for us this morning. The next paper, which is the blueprints, looking at the front page: Iran, US/Israel war, Qatar, energy, Saudi Aramco shut down gas price, jump 50%, crude to 10%. All right, it's a Qatar energy. Saudi Aramco shut down gas price, jump 50% to crude 10%. I mean, we can see the percentage there of how the gas price jumped to 50%, while the crude is on 10%. All right, a quick look at this development. I mean, the Qatar energy hot, which is the LNG output, state-owned Qatar Energy suspended production of liquefied natural gas. I mean, after its facilities in Ras Laffan and Mesair were hit during Iran retaliatory strike. Qatar accounts for about 20% of global LNG supply, making this a major disruption to the world natural gas market. I mean, we also have European benchmark has price surge by roughly 40 to 52%, reflecting this shutdown, one of the largest spikes since Russia invasion of Ukraine. A look at the Saudi Aramco refinery shutdown. Still looking at the Qatar Energy Saudi Aramco shutdown. Okay, all right. Looking at the Saudi Aramco refinery shutdown, Saudi Arabia orders the shutdown of its Ras Tanura oil refinery, one of the kingdom's largest after a drone attack. While local fuel supply was reported safe, the refinery export roads and its strategic location on the Gulf Coast makes this a serious blow. I mean, still coming on the Aramco shutdown gas price that has elevated to 50%, while the crude is on 10%. All right, let's look at the global price reaction relating to the Qatar Energy and the Saudi Aramco shutdown. All right, natural gas price, and especially in Europe, saw dramatic increase as much as about 50% on concern over LNG tightness. Then crude oil benchmark like Brent climbed sharply at time, rising 8% to 10% or more as disruption to key infrastructure and tanker movement in the Strait of Hormuz rattled market. Then I look at the financial market effect. I mean, the sudden energy price volatility has weighed on stock markets globally, with major index falling as investor price in higher inflation and economic uncertainty. I mean, this is coming in as a case of the increment of gas and the prices and the crude that has to escalate to such a high extent of 50% and 10%. I mean, looking at the conflict happening in the Middle East with the strike on Iran that has really disrupted the economic price jump on gas and crude oil. All right, why energy markets are so sensitive? Right, the Strait of Hormuz, through which about 20% of global oil flows, has seen tanker traffic effectively stalled amid the conflict, amplifying supply fear. Major Gulf producers like Qatar and Saudi Arabia play outside role in global oil and gas exports. So any operation disruption instantly rippled into pricing and market expectation. All right, this still coming on the front page of the US-Israel war that has crippled down most of the economic and price hike in business aspects. All right, that is coming on the front page. You can grab a copy of that to see on the blueprint, to see more stories on the in-depth on the Qatar Energy Saudi Aramco shutdown. Gas price jumped to 50%, while crude oil on 10%. All right, moving on to the front page, still on the blueprint on page 7, where we have Police Council confirmed Bisu IGP to be sworn in on Wednesday. Police Council confirms Bisu IGP, which is the new appointed IGP of police, to be sworn in on Wednesday. All right, that is coming on page 7 of the blueprint. Then on page 20, still on the blueprint, where we have business. This coming on business. Dangote targets steel, power, sports in new push. Dangote targets steel, power, ports in new push. That is coming on page 20 of the blueprint. Then on page 33, where we have on sports, pre-WAFCON, South African Super Eagles Falcon, seek revenge against Lioness in Yaoundé. Pre-WAFCON, Super Eagles Falcon seek revenge against Lioness in Yaoundé. That is coming on the front page of still the blueprint this morning. Then on the all page, where we have NAF airstrike neutralized senior terrorist commander in Borno. NAF airstrike neutralized senior terrorist commander in Borno. All right, this is it coming on the front page of the blueprints this morning. Then looking at the down page of the blueprints on page 20, where we have federal government begin implementation of EO9 on direct revenue remittance. Federal government begins implementation of EO9 on direct revenue remittance. All right, that is still coming on page 20 of the blueprint this morning. All right, then we also have on the front page, insurgency attack South Sudan village, killed 169. Insurgents attack South Sudan village, killed 169. That is still coming on the front page of the blueprint. Then we still have on the front page, where we have how Nigerian foreign reserve grew by 772% by Cardoso. How Nigerian foreign reserve grew by 772% by Cardoso. That is coming on the front page of the blueprints this morning. Then, all right, let's quickly move on to the Tribune. Let's see what the Tribune has for us this morning. On the front page of the Tribune, we have Nigerian importers to pay more as Middle East crisis affect shipping. Nigerian importers to pay more as Middle East crisis affect shipping. Then we also have on caption on that, it says oil, gas facilities short as conflict escalates. Then we also have another caption there, Brent could spike to $120 per barrel, J. Morgan Chase. That is coming from still on the front page. Then we have another caption like more revenue for Nigeria, yet bitter sweet situation, says by experts. Then on page 14, still on the Tribune, where we have 6 or so reps defect to Accord Party. 6 or so reps defect to Accord Party. That is still coming on the front page of the Tribune on page 14, still on the Tribune. Then on page 6. Still on the Tribune, CBN governor puts Nigerians nets reserves at $34.8 billion. CBN's government puts Nigerians nets reserve at $34.8 billion. That is still coming on the front page of the Tribune. Then on page 9, still on the Tribune, where we have direct oil revenue remittance to FAAC. FG begins implementation of Executive Order 9. All right, direct oil revenue remittance to FAAC. Federal government begin implementation of Executive Order 9. Then on health on page 4 on the Tribune, we have vegetarian show lower risk for 5 cancer in major global study. Vegetarian shows lower risk of 5 concern in major global study. That is coming on heads on page 4 of the Tribune this morning. Then on page 3, still on the down page, we have a lot of caption on the Tribune this morning. We have National Police Council approve Disu appointments as IGP. National Police Council approves Disu's appointment as IGP, coming on the front page, on page 3, still on the Tribune. Then on page 5 of the Tribune, where we have Dangote target steel, power ports in new industry push. Dangote target steel, power ports in new industry push. That is coming in on page 5, still of the Tribune this morning. Then on page 25, we have federal government inject 48 billion for infrastructure, equipment, upgrades in 12 varsities. Federal government inject 48 billion for infrastructure, equipment, upgrades in 12 varsity. That is coming in still on the down page of the Tribune this morning. Then on the up page, on page 16 of the Tribune, where we have court stops Ondo APC state Congress over disputed world local government congresses. All right, court stops Ondo APC state Congress over disputed world local government congresses. That is still coming in on the front page of the Tribune. Then looking at the major caption, where we have Nigerian importers to pay more as Middle East crisis affect shipping. I mean, here's a summary of what the Tribune has to say regarding the related reporting issues, saying about how the Middle East crisis is affecting Nigerian importers as global shipping. All right, Nigerian importers to pay more as global shipping costs spike. All right, the Middle East conflict has disputed key maritime trade routes, especially around the Strait of Hormuz, a vital choke point for global oil and cargo transport, prompting many shipping companies to route vessel or suspend some services entirely. I mean, this is coming in as a case of what is going on in Iran as affecting the shipping along the Strait of Hormuz. Then, as a result, freight rate, shipping cost, and related subjects are rising sharply, meaning importers in Nigeria could soon face higher bill to bring in goods from overseas. I mean, this is a case of it's going to be affecting businesses and people that ship from outside country to Nigeria, because it's going to affect the shipping strategy on how to ship down to Nigeria, because it's already affecting the economy as we speak. I mean, why prices are rising? A look at why prices are rising. Major carriers are avoiding high risk areas like the Red Sea, Gulf, and Straits of Hormuz. All right, major carriers are avoiding high risk areas like the Red Sea, the Gulf, and the Straits of Hormuz. Instead, sailing around African Cape of Good Hope, which add days to voyage and considerable increased fuel operating costs. I mean, we can see here that most of the people are avoiding the Red Sea, the Gulf, and the Straits of Hormuz. Instead, they sail around the African Cape of Good Hope, which may add more days. It will constitute more days for the goods, and it's under probability that the goods will be delivered, because we can see the increase of fuel operating costs and the cost of shipping from those cities. Then we also have ship owners and insurgents and insurance are also rising. We war risk and fighting insurances premium as geopolitical risk escalates. All right. Then we also have further pushing up the cost of shipping. Then a wider shipping industry context, looking at the wider ship industry context still regarding to the Nigerian imports to pay more as Middle East crisis affect shipping. I mean, report shows that global carriers such as Maersk, CMA, which is CGM, and MSC, and others have already routed or paused services, all right, through conflict zone, which lengthen transit time and makes logistics more expensive for exporters and importers alike. All right, this is still coming on the issue on the area of export and importing by the people that needs to transport their goods relating to the story. I mean, these developments aren't unique to Nigeria. I mean, freight and insurance costs and rising across many trade routes because of the elevated risk and longer alternative routes. All right, so this is what is really going on the front page of the Tribune, relating to the story of Nigerian importers to pay more as Middle East crisis and tension arises. All right, we keep bringing to you more of the updates on this aspect of shipments and the cost of things and the global markets generally. All right, let's quickly move to the next paper to see what the Guardian is saying this morning. On the front page of the Guardian this morning, we have drug shortage, funding cuts put 100 million Nigerians, NDP against gains at risk. Drug shortage, funding cuts puts 100 million Nigerian, NTD gains at risk. All right, that is coming on the front page of the Guardian. We also have on page 20, still on the 28th of the Guardian, DSS arrests suspect behind Obi Onyegun assassination attempt. DSS arrests suspect behind Obi Onyegun assassination attempt. This is coming as a relating to the meeting that they had, which is where Obi's life was attempted, and it was not scheduled. We are hearing the news now that the suspect has been arrested. Most of the suspects that constitute that nuisance has been arrested. All right, a quick look at that story to see more on this top story that is coming in there. Then on page 6, still on the Guardian this morning, Middle East war sends crude higher. Fuel fresh inflation rise in Nigeria. Middle East war sends crude higher. Fuel fresh inflation rise risk in Nigeria. All right, this is already concerning us in Nigeria here, because I know definitely with the war going on in Iran, with Israel and US striking Iran, it's going to affect our oil price and our oil shifting. Looking at the inflation in prices and different economic relations. All right, looking at page 15, still on the Guardian, Nigeria's net reserves rise by 772% in 2 years to $34.8 billion US. Nigeria's net reserve rises to 772% in 2 years to $34.8 billion US. That is still coming on the front page of the Guardian. Then on page 5, on the down page of the Guardian, where we have chaos linger as cashless toll enforcement leaves airport road users stranded. Chaos linger as cashless toll enforcement leaves airport road users stranded. All right, that is still coming on the cashless policy that is being introduced on the airline. On the airlines that has leaves a lot of users stranded due to the cashless policy on that aspect. Then looking on the down page of page 29, still on the Guardian, where we have Finteri formerly joined APC, declares safe party leader. Finteri formerly joined APC, declares safe party leader. Then on page 7, on the down page, still of the Guardian, where we have groups condemn rising wave of suicide. Teams skilled by Nigerian content creator. Group condemns rising wave of suicide. Teams skilled by Nigerian content creator. All right, this is coming on the down page of group that condemn rising wave of suicide. I mean, teams killed by Nigerian content creator. I think that should be a story relating to King Michi and a controversial story there that they have to be drinking hypo. I think we read that story was it yesterday on newspaper review. All right, then on page 4, still on the up page of the Guardian, where we have El-Rufai's family reply ICPC on wiretapping a secret document. Wiretapping secret document. El-Rufai's family reply ICPC on wiretapping secret document. Coming on page 4 of the Guardian. Then on page 7, where we have service disrupted as UCH union begin 5-day strike over power rationing. All right, service disrupted as UCH union begins 5-day strike over power rationing. That is coming on the front page of the Guardian. Then on the other page, the last page of the Guardian, on page 4, it says NNPCL loses power to collect 30% PSCS as E09 takes off. that is coming on page 4, which is NNPCL loses power to collect 30% PCS as EO9 takes off, coming on page 4 of The Guardian. A broader look at the drug shortage of the major caption. A broader look at the drug shortage. Funding cuts put 100 million Nigerian NTD gained risk. All right. Here's a verified summary of The Guardian's reports on why drug shortage and funding cuts and threatening Nigerians had won gain against neglected tropical disease, which is the NTD. All right. Huge risk population, that's the caption. Over 100 million Nigerians remain risk of at least one neglected tropical diseases. All right, and 771 of Nigerian, 774 local government areas are considered endemic for one more NTD. All right. Progress at risk due to medicine shortage. Still looking at the drug shortage and funding cuts that put 100 million Nigerians NTD gain risk. All right, over a year of coordinated campaign, Nigerians achieved major wins, including eliminating guinea worm and significantly reducing disease like trachoma and lymphatic filariasis. But now, donors exist, funding cuts and regulatory bottleneck are causing actual and artificial medicine shortage, threatening to reverse this gain. All right, this is coming in on the process and the progress risk of due to medicine shortage in Nigeria. All right, still looking at the funding gap and the donor exists. Just a quick look at that. You check the story later on the broader aspect. All right, experts warns that ongoing cuts in donor support and weak domestic financing are weakening programs that relied heavily on international aid. Some partners involved in field assessment and delivery of NTD intervention have existed due to reduced funding and following progress. All right, these are the new developments on that aspect of the drug shortage funding cuts. All right, health system. Looking at what are NTDs. All right, neglecting tropical disease, that is the formula, neglected tropical disease are a group of 21 communities, communicable and non-communicable disease that thrive in poor sanitation and poverty-stricken areas. This reportedly affects rural and disadvantaged population with limited water, sanitation, and health services. All right, this is still looking at the drug shortage. Funding cut put 100 million Nigerian NTDs gain at risk. All right, a quick look at why the Middle East war sent crude higher, fuel fresh inflation in Nigeria. That is looking at the page 6 of The Guardian. On the page 6 of The Guardian, Middle East war sends crude oil, higher fuel fresh inflation risk in Nigeria. I mean, why crude oil price are rising? A broader looking at why the crude oil price are rising. The ongoing war involving the United States, Israel, and Iran has intensified geopolitical risk in the global markets, especially around the Straits of Hormuz, a choke point for about 20% of global crude shipments. I mean, fear of supply disruption have pushed Brent crude price higher, with oil markets pricing in a war premium. A common reaction then when major oil producing region face instability. I mean, importance of Nigerian fuel price. Even though Nigeria is an oil exporter, it imports a larger share of refined petroleum products and refined feedback. I mean, many local fuel price are still linked to global crude and product markets. As crude oil price climb, fuel import costs rise, which in turn puts upward pressure on petrol, which is the PM, and diesel price in Nigeria. Analysis was that if Brent crude sustain level for for above budget benchmark example, which is 80 to 100 per barrel, which is, we read this story yesterday, the crude oil has already shifted to 100 per barrel. To conflict, pump price could rise sharply, amplifying inflation pressure. I mean, looking at the broader concept of the barrel that has already been increased by 100 per barrel. I mean, connection to the inflation. A look at the connection to the inflation relating to the story. All right, so higher fuel cost tends to have a multiple effects on the broader economic because fuel is a key input for transportation, goods movement, electricity generation via generator, and the agricultural activities. When fuel costs rises, when fuel cost rises, transport fares and logistic costs increase. Looking at when the inflation, the cost of fuel is on the high, we are seeing here that the cost of logistics and cost of transportation definitely will increase, and this is going to affect most of the transportation system and the business aspect in Nigeria. Food and consumer goods price go up, and it will affect both the food and consumer goods price will also go up. Then production costs for many sector rises. All of these push headlines inflation higher. All right, this is the development on what is happening and is affecting the sector of the oil, the fueling, the oil price, and the transportation and the logistics in Nigeria presently. Nigerian budget and economic context. Looking at Nigerian budget and economic context of this Middle East war that has affected the crude oil. All right, Nigeria 2026 budget was benchmarked on a lower crude price, example around $64 to $65 per barrel. So sustain higher price and improve government revenue, foreign exchange inflow and reserve. However, the inflation impact on everyday Nigerian, especially in a deregulated fuel pricing environment, may outweigh short-term fiscal gain if global price remain elevated. All right, this is looking at the Middle East war that sent crude oil higher on the inflation rise risk. All right, a quick look at that to see what the papers has to say more on that page 6 of the Guardian. We won't dwell much more on that. Let's quickly move to the next paper, which is talking about the New Telegraph. On the front page of the New Telegraph this morning, we have Middle East conflict. He's talking about the Middle East conflict. Protests erupts in Lagos, Kano, Sokoto over killing of Khamenei. All right, Middle East conflict. Protests erupt in Lagos, Kano, Sokoto over killing of Khamenei, which is the recent Khamenei that was killed, which is in Iran. It has erupted. This news, we'll be bringing this news since yesterday about the eruption of protests in different states from Sokoto to Kano, and now we are seeing that it's already taking place in Lagos. A lot of protests going on. We'll still come back to that. Then looking at the up page on page 25 of the New Telegraph. All right, where we have stock market begin March with 1.72 trillion gain. Stock market begins March with 1.72 trillion gains. Then looking at still on the up page of the New Telegraph, where we have CBN set to extend recapitalization deadline for Keystone, Polaris, Union Bank. CBN set to extend recapitalization deadline for Keystone, Polaris, Union Bank. All right, still looking at the front page of the New Telegraph, where we have on page 5 of the New Telegraph, 2027, resign if you want to contest elective position. Okpeholo takes political appointees. 2027, resign if you want to contest elective position. Okpeholo takes political appointees. That is coming on page 5, still on the New Telegraph. Then on page 3 and page 4, electoral processes, Nigeria trust deficit. Our major concern, which is coming from the INEC. Electoral processes, that is the caption. Nigerian trust deficit, our major concern, coming in from the INEC. Then on page down, on page 3 and 8, the down page of the New Telegraph, where we have executive orders 9, government supports reform in oil sector. Executive orders 9, which is, that's the caption, government supports reform in oil sector. All right, then on page 28 and 29, still on the New Telegraph, at the down page, we have bandits abduct 6 worshippers in Kaduna, demand 30 million ransom. Bandits abduct 6 worshippers in Kaduna, demand 30 million ransom. Then on the down page, where we have NAFDAC secure 40 years terms against peddlers of fake alcoholic beverages. NAFDAC secure 40 years jail against peddlers fake alcoholic beverages. All right, that is still coming on the front page of the New Telegraph this morning. Then a quick look at the major front page, which is talking about the protest that has erupted in Lagos, Kano, Sokoto over the killing of Kamini. All right, here's a verified summary of the New Telegraph report and related coverage explaining why protests have erupted in Lagos, Kano, Sokoto, and Nigerian cities and the Middle East due to the Middle East conflict. All right, protests and reactions to international news, particularly widespread reports that Iran's supreme leader, which is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was killed in joint military strike by the United States and Israel as part of the broader Middle East conflict. This even has sparked strong reaction among some Muslim community worldwide. In Lagos, members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, which is the IMN, a Shia Muslim group, marched through the Maryland area, chanting slogan, crying, placard, and expressing outrage over the reporting killing of the Khamenei and foreign military intervention. Demonstrators carries flag and denounce what they see as external aggression and interference in a sovereign nation. All right, this is what's coming to our news text this morning on the recent development on the new protest that is taking place in Lagos, in Kano. But in Lagos, we can see the carry flags of most of the states, the United States flag, and they won't put it on the ground due to the killing of the leader of the person of Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader that was killed in Iran. We can see that the protest has already started. Most of the Muslim communities in Lagos and in part of the Nigeria are not happy with the developments that they have killed the Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of the Iran government. All right. Similarly, demonstration took place in the northern states, including Kano and Sokoto, as well as Gombe. I mean, Niger, Bauchi, and Yobe. I mean, these are the states that most of this protest is going on presently now. While Shia community and IMN members marched in solidarity with Iran, carrying Iranian flag and placard condemning the strike, showing unity with the Muslim world. All right, this is still coming in on the front page of the story this morning. They will also have core motivation behind the protest. What is the core motivation, behind this protest? Religion, solidarity. Many participants sees the death of the major Shiite leader as a significant blow to their faith community, prompting public expression of mourning and political dissatisfaction. I mean, they are coming to say they are not happy due to the death of their leader, which is Al-Khalini. Political sentiments. I mean, protesters also frame the demonstration as a condemnation of Western military intervention and perceived foreign domination in Middle East affair. Connecting global events to broader concern about sovereignty and geopolitics. All right, these are the new developments that is taking place in the world of protest that is happening both in Lagos, Kano, Gombe, Sokoto, and part of the Nigerian state. All right, this protest is happening due to the strike that we all know happened, and the fight is still going on in Iran, where Israel and USA had to strike the Iranian community and bombing most of their sovereign places that has to do with the surveillance places where missiles are being kept and destroying most of the buildings. Reports reaching us that the protest in Lagos has already erupted while holding placards and most of the flags to show their grievances that they are not happy with the recent developments. All right, that is coming on the front page of the Telegraph this morning. Then let's quickly look on the Punch. Let's see what the Punch is leading with this morning. On the front page of the Punch, US, which is Israel-Iran tension, that is coming on as a caption. Iran tension. U.S. alert citizens in Nigeria as Shiite protests rock Lagos. Israel-Iran tension as in Nigeria as Shiite protests rock Lagos. He's talking about the Lagos escalation protests that has rock Lagos, linking to members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, which is the IMN we just talked about just now, and the Shiite group have been holding peaceful protests in Lagos. They now seeing the strike on Iran and expressing solidarity with Iran and opposition to U.S. and Israeli action. In demonstration have included marches, placard, and chants against why described a foreign intervention. I mean, they are demanding for foreign intervention on what is going on around the world. Why Iran has been hit by missiles. I mean, escalating Middle East conflict. All right, we've talked about that. All right, then captions on most of under the front page of the Punch, where we have police heighten security after Kano, Bauchi, Gombe, Yobe demonstration. I mean, the police have to come in to tighten security due to the protests that has happened in Kano, Bauchi, and Gombe, in Yobe also. They will also have another caption here: protesters condemn strike, vow peaceful rally amid global tension. All right, protesters condemn strike, vow peaceful rally amid global tension. We will also have another caption still on the front page of the Punch this morning, where we also have crisis ground hundreds of Nigerian passengers. Crisis grounds hundreds of Nigerian passengers. That is it coming in on the front page of the Punch this morning. Then on page 2, still on the up page, where we have revised executive order, which that's the caption. Federal government adjust oil revenue remittance framework. Revised executive order. Federal government adjust oil revenue remittance framework. Then on page 29, still of the Punch this morning, where we have Tinubu to swear in Disu as IG on Wednesday. That is coming in on the new IGP that was appointed to be sworn in on Wednesday. Tinubu said so. Then coming in on page 7, still on the Punch this morning, ICPC list document device seized from El-Rufai Abuja home. ICPC list document device seized from El-Rufai Abuja home. That is coming in on the story of Abuja, story of El-Rufai, pardon, on the phone tapping and the fraud that was accused of on El-Rufai's case. All right. Then looking down on the down page of page 7 of the Punch, where we have Atiku son resigns from Finteri's cabinet. Atiku son resigned from Finteri's cabinet. All right. Then on page 6, still on the front page, where we have U.S.-based Nigerian jail 9 years over $4 million romance scam fraud. U.S.-based Nigerian jail 19 years over $4 million romance scam and fraud. All right. Fraud. All right, that's coming on the front page of page 6 of a Nigerian woman that has been jailed for 19 years for fraud of $4 million. Then looking at page 35 of the Punch this morning, petrol may hit 1,000 liters as Dangote hike price. Petrol may hit 1,000 liters as Dangote's hike price. All right, that is coming in on the front page of the Punch this morning. Then looking at the next paper we have for you, that will be the last paper before we do a quick recap on the Nation. Let's see what the Nation is trending with this morning. On the front page, executive order on remittances. All right, Edon panel swing into action. Executive order on remittances. Edon panel swing into action. That is coming on the broader front page of the Nation this morning. Then we also have on page 3, still on the Nation, Wike accused Atiku Amechi Obi of playing to gallery. Wike accuses Atiku Amechi Obi of playing to gallery. Then looking at the next paper, the next page, U.S. Israel versus Iran, chaos spread in Middle East. U.S. Israel versus Iran, chaos spread in Middle East. Then on page 4, we also have NetFund shifts students loan application deadline. Then on page 27, we also have forensic team exhumed 105 bodies in Yenwada. Forensic team exhumed 105 bodies in Yenwada. Then looking at the whole page of City Nation, where we have President of Botswana appoints Akinwale Omorowo as Vice Chairman of Botswana Power Corporation Board of Directors. That is coming on the front page of the Nations this morning. All right, a quick look at why Israel versus Iran chaos spread in the Middle East. Why US Iran chaos spread in the Middle East. That is coming on page 30 of the Nations this morning. The Nations notes that the United States and Israel launches coordinated military strike on Iran, targeting key military sites and leadership position, including the report killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, high-ranking commander and strategic infrastructure. This marks shift from indirect proxy tensions to direct information, dramatically increase instability. All right, that is coming in on the front page. We also have Iran-backed military and allies group. All right, so that is coming on the front page. Then a quick why this matter, looking at the US-Israel versus Iran chaos spread, chaos in the Middle East. All right, looking at why this matter, regional spread. A clash once centered on Iran and Israel has now pulled in multiple Middle East states and their arms group. All right, they will also have global impact, energy markets, shipping route, foreign investment flow, and domestic relations are all being affected far beyond the battlefield. All right, they will also have dramatic consequences, domestic consequences. Countries like Nigeria feels the effects. Economically, example, fuel price, import, export costs, and socially, example, diaspora, safety. All right, these are all coming in as a result of why this matters to Nigeria. It's going to affect both the economic sector, the fueling sector that has to do with the fuel price being rising, and the cost of goods both in the market and the price and the inflation is going to affect so many things. This is going to disrupt the economic in Nigeria. All right, these are all the trending stories that we brought across your way this morning on IDEA TV, the newspaper review segment. A quick recap of the newspaper review. Looking at the first paper that we brought across your way, which is the Vanguard. Middle East war, no distress call yet from Nigerian in Iran by federal government. Then we also have the blueprint on the front page. Iran, US, Israel war, Qatar energy. Saudi Aramco shuts down, gas price jump 50%, crude oil 10%. Then we also have on the Tribune, Nigerian importers to pay more as Middle East crisis affect shipping. Then we also have on the Guardian, drug shortage, funding cuts, put 100 million Nigerian NTD gain at risk. Then we also have the New Telegraph on the front page. Middle East conflict, protests erupt in Lagos, Kano, Sokoto over killing of Khamenei. All right, that is coming in on the front page of the New Telegraph. Then on the Punch, we brought to you on the front page of the Punch. Israel-Iran tension, US alert citizens in Nigeria as Shiite protests rock in Lagos. That is coming on the front page of the Punch. Then looking at the last paper, which is the Nation we brought across your way, executive order on remittances, Edon panel swing into action. These are most of the stories on trending on the newspaper review segment that we brought across your way on IDEA TV. If you want to be a part of this, you can send in your email to our email box on ideatv@gmail.com to be a part of this. Send in your comment, drop in your review. All right, these are more of what we'll be bringing more as the news keep dropping across your way on IDEA TV, the newspaper review segment. I am Gabriel Matthew Seriki. Thank you for your time.